How am I now?
Oh, you
That's
sound
good.
great.
Good.
And
That's
we're
good.
live in five, four, three, two, one. Ba-da! This is Ted Hicks from Late Night Parents, Ways to Follow the Show, latenightparents.com. We have a star-studded crew here tonight. We got some usuals, and we got a couple of guest appearances. Sunday Night Smoke almost made the broadcast. Brian is available by audio. Tony D's in the building. And we have none other than a nonsensical nonsense podcast founder, creator, CEO, chairman. Big Lick is in the building.
Much love. What an intro, Mr. Ted
Uh,
Hicks. That was awesome.
we got to do it.
Yeah,
Royalty
I
is
love
here.
that.
Royalty is here in the building. So we'll get right to it because we know everyone's running here and running there and dealing with life and family and all the above. Um,
Just clocked
guys,
out.
how has your week been? Tony D, a lot of stuff going on. I know we can quickly get into Deshaun Jackson, but I want to talk with you about, and it's great that Brian is also on this whole discussion last week where we saw Jon Stewart passionately, some people didn't like his passion or the expletives that he used when talking about Congress, the lack of not doing anything in regards to burn pits with veterans. So I think it's only apropos to have you speak on that subject where you can illuminate us.
Let me be clear. Big ups to John Stewart. I will tell you that as somebody who has been overseas, I will tell you that as somebody who has deployed during the Iraq War, the second Iraq War. I was over there 03, 06, and 09. The burn pits were real. The videos were real. The exhaust in the air was real. The delay and the bill being shot down should have pissed off any and every veteran who had been over there. Now, we're going to have to look at both sides of this, honestly. I'm going to keep this brief. Let me know when I go over 5 minutes. Please, the max. Vietnam veterans have been waiting longer for their benefits longer than Iraqi veterans. We will not deny that. They just started getting their acknowledgments and proper treatment within the past 5 years. And Vietnam was the 60s, 70s. So our outrage as a veteran is to a delay in the process, any aspect of any delay in the process, and the fact that not only do you know we were over there, you know what we were going through, you know what was happening. Why did it take so long? When you have all the facts in front of your face, what are you debating? And that's going to go for any and every veteran seeking any and every aspect of compensation based on any and every conflict we were in. Period. End of story. We got the Agent Orange situation that just went through the past few years. The Blue Water Navy bill just went through. And now we got the burn pit situation that just ended. Well, they just got resolved for the most part. I have come back with respiratory issues myself, personally. I know others who have gone through it. We already know what's going on with Agent Orange. What we also need to look at with all of these situations and conditions and the reason why we need these bills passed, some of the conditions that we went through can get passed on to our children. That definitely happened with Agent Orange. A lot of people don't want to acknowledge that. So, Republicans, yes, you all caught hell. Mind you, you all were facing a lot of support based on everything that's going on with the aspect of politics while Biden has been in office. And you had that had to have been a monkey wrench in your works right after Roe versus Wade. So right now, for you all to fix that should repair some of the damage that you all have put down, but it was still messed up as a veteran, as somebody who has been over there. And God knows, I know y'all know what we went through when we were over there. I know all the stuff we got to do when we come back. I know all the stuff that we got to fill out when we get over there. And I know all the stuff that we went through while we were there. The outrage by Jon Stewart, I salute the hell out of him. I want to thank him, and I want to thank everybody who's been fighting for us, as well as those of us who have been putting up the fight and signing the registry, signing the petitions, everything. Every veteran out there, this is from me to all of you. I am a service officer at a VFW post here in my city. I am a former 2-time junior vice commander. I am a former senior vice commander. Go to the VA. Go. I know a lot of you don't want to. I know a lot of you have had the wrong experiences. Let me say it again. Go to the VA. The Veterans Administration is looking for any and every veteran out there to come in. I understand the delays. I understand the complications. I understand the visits. I understand the medications. I understand all of that. I'm telling every veteran right now, go to the VA. I've gone. I'm just putting it out there for all of us. All members of the United States Armed Forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. Go to the VA. Appreciate you, Ted. Hey, Spunky.
Leggy Lady, what's going on?
That's my Spunky.
Hope you're doing well. If it's 10:55 Eastern time,
It is. Don't do that.
It's what, 4:55, 56 or 3:55, 56
55
in the AM. Yes. In Scotland. So
yes.
Big ups to you and thank you for the support. 3:56. Okay, we were close.
5 hours.
So we got that. So this episode is called 2 Balls and a Strike.
Uh-huh.
Baseball trade season, trade deadline. We all know what our favorite teams have done. We're going to see the second.
Let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets.
We're going to see as we get through the months of, the final 2 months of the year, of the season.
Astros,
I'll leave it just right there with that.
Astros, baby.
We'll be on the road. Turn your mic back off.
Astros, baby.
We'll quickly go to what's your guys' take on this whole Deshaun Watson mess?
Brian, you want this?
All right.
It's
really embarrassing on Deshaun Watson. It's a bit embarrassing overall. I mean, the only thing, it's just like, hey, you're a young kid, easily influenced, and you get introduced to this person, and then the next you know, it's like, the ripple effect. So, however he should be taking full ownership of the bad choices he's made. I mean, nobody put a gun to his head and say, do it. He made that choice. He didn't think things through. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much to the point where, it's like whatever happens to him. It's like, hey, man, tough break.
Excuse me. Well, I'm sorry.
What's your take, Tone?
Trying to come down with something. I ain't having this right now. The Deshaun Watson situation. My understanding, the courts didn't find anything legally wrong. A lot of his actions. So right now we're going through a civil suit issue that can be costly. He had a 6-game suspension originally that was going to be put into place that they were going to enforce. Now the NFL wants a stiffer, stronger penalty based on previous incidences. Honestly, one of the reasons we tell people not to break the laws, you don't know which time the law is going to enforce itself to the fullest, or at least people are going to enforce the fullest extent of the law. Deshaun Watson's situation, he was cleared. He was found to have done nothing wrong. Now they're going for a civil lawsuit, which we have all seen before previously, but the OJ case can get costly. He has a deal with the Cleveland Browns. He has a 6-game suspension. If they go for a stronger or stiffer penalty, this will be my recommendation. At the end of the 6-game suspension, he will have done 18 months without playing in the NFL at least. I will call 18 months time served. I'm not sure what they're looking for. I know they're looking for a full year. As of today's news, they were looking for a full year. Yeah, I'm not snotty anymore. I just sneeze and stuff. Thank you. Home remedies. I don't like what's going on. I think we're all ready to move on. Here's my thing. If you really violated them, I can't say anything. If the courts haven't found anything, we don't have anything going on. I know a lot of people didn't come out in public. I know a lot of these testimonies were on paper. My problem is a lot of this started as soon as he said he wanted to be traded from the Texans. So it does not look good to me. No, I do not know the truth. Yes, I would like to know more, but it's not necessarily my business. We are supposed to let the courts take the precedence and handle the situation as best as possible because that's how it's supposed to be in this land. Let's get some answers. Let's get this right, and then let's move on. I'm done. Appreciate it.
So just not really a rebuttal to either of your comments. I got 3 words. Where's the remorse? Where's
From
the
him?
remorse? From him. There's
Okay.
24, 26 people out here that claim, and I know it's easy to say, oh, they're on a come up or whatever like that. There's been some behavior issues. Okay? You don't
First
turn
charge
around
I
and
saw-
settle. You don't settle with these 24 people if you didn't do anything.
The first thing I remember seeing was sexual indecency. He wasn't accused of rape. He was accused of unwelcome advances,
Right.
Yeah, inappropriate touching.
inappropriate touching.
Right. Bad behavior.
Are we really? I gotta ask this: is inappropriate touching supposed to take this long in a legal process?
Not really.
Well, there's the legal. So here's the other issue. The other issue is Roger Goodell is judge, jury, and executioner.
And he's got to make an
He-
NFL stand after the legal stand, which we're doing now. We acknowledge that.
Right.
Mhm.
And in the past, when he took all those hits from that Ray Rice situation,
The first one of the big ones, right?
right? Because guess what? What happens in 2 months? 2 months. It's October. We're into the second quarter of the season, and we're also into breast cancer awareness. We're into everyone NFL trying to look at the women, their women fans, and they're
That's fair.
pushing pink jerseys everywhere, and
That's
we
fair.
love our fan base and everything else like that. So they're in a catch-22 because they remember how
For the
bad they
fan
looked
base.
with Ray Rice.
And that's what I'm saying. He's actually catching the law being pressured, and he's going to be the face of it.
Well, he's the commissioner. He gets paid what, $60 million a year?
I saw 40. Now, Deshaun Watson, as minimal as a lot of people may see this charge to be, he's at the wrong time with the wrong situation and the wrong level of situations happening. I know he did one press conference and he kept his mouth shut. Honestly, if I was a lawyer, I would have told him don't say nothing to him. I definitely would have said that. You could kick an apology.
Tom, where's the remorse?
Well,
Where's
who
getting
believes,
ahead of it?
who believes remorse anymore will be the question.
Well, you're just sitting there. Well, not you. I'm just saying
Right.
he's just sitting there. You cut your deal.
Yes.
Your deal is configured in a way that, okay, that first year, that
No.
chances are you probably won't play, that you're only going to be penalized $1 million.
He's only going to get paid $1 million last I saw.
Yes, that first year.
Yeah, first year he's only making $1 million, and then after that.
But it's configured that specific way. You got that initial signing bonus, and then you got, okay, over that 17-game period.
We'll pay your legal fees, go through the process, let the judge make a decision, and then we can move the hell on.
Right. So now this decision's been made.
Yes.
And they said 6 games, and now they want to relitigate the case. So now they become the appellate courts.
Well,
The
he got to
NFL.
push the NFL side of things. He's going through the legal process. Now he has to go through the NFL process, which is part of the game. This is where
Right.
it's kind of going to get crucial, yes. It's kind of going to get crucial right now for him. It truly is.
So what number in your mind is a number that's feasible?
It's been a
for-
year. It's been a year. The 6 games, I won't question it. That's a lot of money to people.
So
And most people
what if
don't
he
even make the money.
appeals? What if he appeals that 6 games
I don't blame him. He has that right.
and it drops it down to 4?
If he appeals it and he loses, it's going to go to a year. I don't blame him. Go for your fight.
I say give him a year. Give him the year.
I'm with the
He
6
loses
months.
$1 million, and
I'm with
you
the
know,
6
I mean-
months. I really am, because he's already been sitting out for a year. And this is not even so much from a fan base, fantasy football, I want to see him play aspect. Legally, it will have been 18 months.
Okay.
And we have accusations that he has been cleared of. Now we got to go to another level because you destroyed a reputation. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't played.
I hear
He
you.
hasn't
I hear
played. He
you.
hasn't done what he's wanted to do. Time has been served. Just my aspect, but I don't know all the specifics. I know what I
Right.
read, and I was like, okay, this shouldn't take this long.
Right.
You got testimony. You got his word versus theirs. You got 24 women, 26 women. Originally it was 22. It doesn't look
Right.
good. Let's get the testimony. Let's get the proof. Let's get somebody out there.
How
And let's
many
be
have
clear.
settled?
These massage parlors, don't they have cameras?
You would
They have
think?
cameras. They have cameras like in the entryway and the exit.
Some of them got them in the rooms.
He's settled with 22, 20, 24. He's settled. So
the legal aspect's done. Now we got to go through the NFL side of things.
well, yeah. So
And the NFL
they
side
have
of things, I
to.
think what is it? He didn't have a domestic. He just had inappropriate, unwelcome advances touching. I don't know what the penalty is for that. I know for the domestic.
I think the judge said he should focus on league-sponsored massages, by massage professionals, and not go this
Stay off
independent
the
route.
massage parlors. Find you a steady. Stay your ass at home. You welcome. I'm just saying, bro.
I mean, like you do have a lot of independent, their own like massage entrepreneurs out there. Like my best friend is one, and
Okay.
so it's just, you could go get a massage through facility, or you do have that right to have your own personal masseuse.
You do have your right to have your own personal masseuse. If
Yeah.
I was him, I would find me a steady. Somebody wants to be with you.
One would think that. It's just,
Listen, somebody wants to be with you that you can trust. Get with her and go sit your ass down. This is costing too much money, taking too much time. How much money have you lost out on, bro? Stop playing.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's like, but I was like 22. I was like, if you had like maybe 2, maybe 3 different massage therapists, okay, fine. If you got one for specifics, like a type of massage, if you want one just for specifically deep tissue, or you want one that does that specializes in sports massage, or another one that does, like chiropractic / massage. I'm okay with that because most people do have that. But 22 to 26, like,
that's
whoa.
a lot. That's a lot. Yeah, I agree. That's a lot.
Whoa.
That's a lot, bro. It don't look good. That means you were just hollering at all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you was the new man in Texas. We got that. You was on a pedestal in Texas. We got that. You want to ask for a trade, or we're gonna get you for everything you did.
Yeah.
The game's stronger than all of us. Y'all stop playing.
But also too, wouldn't the masseuse be at fault too for kind of like somewhat being a subtle lead on?
Not sure. Not that's not necessarily true.
Yeah, I mean that
when you go to massage parlor, where you put your hands?
Yeah, to your side, or if they off the table, if they
not like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You have your arms to your side, or your arms draping over the table, draping off the table. That's it.
I put my arm on my side. I close my eyes.
But,
I ain't trying to catch that case.
Like, ooh, it's an NFL player, professional. Ooh, I mean, there's 2 sides to every story. So it's like there could be some information that's kept out.
Dog, they got Robert Kraft, and they got Deshaun Watson. Y'all go back in the massage parlors playing games if y'all want to.
But Kraft didn't get suspended. He didn't have to pay anything. The tape never got released.
He settled.
He settled. He settled.
Deshaun settled. Let's move on.
Hey, so we lost, I think since this past weekend, some juggernauts. Starting off with Bill Russell.
Yes.
And going to Nichelle Nichols, Lieutenant Uhura from Star Trek, and then with Vince Scully. this is
You forgot one.
Go ahead.
You forgot Mary Alice.
Mary Alice.
Mm-hmm. She was doing direct on Different World.
Yes.
Yes, that's 4 we lost this weekend. Four major people.
So this is stuff in our childhood. These are people that we watched on TV, and it just, for me, it tests my mortality, because you sit here and you in retrospect you look back and you're like, oh my goodness, because I mean, if I remember Vince Scully with the catch. Like, a lot of people want to remember
Samuels.
Vince Scully. Say it again?
Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels. You want to... I remember Vince Scully with the catch. With Dwight Clark. With the Niners and the Cowboys. I remember that. It's like, for me, Vince Scully was that type of announcer that transcended the game, that told you, he can call football, he can call baseball, he can call this. He had that grasp on it. A lot of people looked up to him. A lot of young professionals looked up to him, where he provided advice and mentoring and all the above. Bill Russell, people talk about... You want to talk about the 11 rings in 13 years... But he's so much bigger than that. I know everyone gets caught up in stats and all this other stuff. It's like the stuff he did for civil rights dwarfs everything else that he's done. And then, you look at this stuff, and I don't know, I just get taken back, where you just sit there and you're just like, oh my goodness. You look at their age, you look at when they were born, you kind of scan through, that book of life, and you're like, shit, this is where we are. So that's kind of my take. I don't know.
You're not wrong in what you're saying. They're legends. Every last one.
Yes.
Every last one of them were legends.
Every aspect of them.
Rights, standing up for people, pushing for people, causing a stir in the public to the positive.
Yes.
All 4. Kevin Samuels was very controversial right before he passed, but he had support and he had critics. But he had a purpose in what he did. So rest in peace for all 4 or 5 of them. Honestly, Michelle Nichols, I'm a big Trekkie. God knows, Whoopi gave a great speech about her on The View.
Okay,
she really did.
That's Brian's favorite show.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite shows.
No.
I'm a serious Trekkie. Bill Russell.
Speculation.
The 11 rings and the civil rights, without question. Mary Alice was a staple in actresses. Excuse me. Who did I forget? Vic Scully, as an announcer. Good God have mercy. He saw the Kirk Gibson. He called things. He called everything. You got to look at each and everybody for what they've done, or criticize anything wrong with them. And I respect the fact that we can acknowledge what's right and what's wrong with any and everybody out here. That's why you try to give them their flowers now. Blick, you ain't been up here yet. Jump on this, man.
What am I jumping on?
Vince Scully. Bill Russell.
Wow. Yeah, no, I think Ted heard it. I said it, but I think Ted, just to chime in on what you said, absolutely. We lost some heavy hitters in the last week or so. A lot of people that absolutely, I'm probably not the best guy to add my 2 cents on this. But absolutely, as far as the civil rights movement and setting a precedent and changing the way that things worked in television, sports, and everything else, we absolutely. I'm not a big Trekkie, so no disrespect to. I know you are, Tony. No disrespect to Michelle or anything like that, but I knew who she was. I know, but yeah, we absolutely lost some heavy hitters. And being a sports fan. Obviously Bill Russell. I could try to Google something bad about him, but
I don't think you can.
Yeah, you can't. And Vince Scully. Yeah, Vince Scully. I mean, some of the craziest moments in sports history. You go back, and I mean, to a point that I think there was a baseball game where Vince went silent for like 2 minutes because he was legitimately watching as a fan, not necessarily
Right.
a commentator or an analysis or anything like that, but as a fan, he went silent for a good 2 minutes because he was watching a play out, and it was historical, because as a commentator, a sports analysis, or a play by play caller, you're supposed to be in the moment right now, and he was 100% in the moment on that game, where there was all you could hear was the background noise, the wind blowing, and everything like that, and it was insane. It was absolutely insane, and it was so awesome.
I think of Vince Scully when, someone like Vince Scully not only could do TV, could do radio.
Mhm.
Because I think, I don't know. I don't know if you guys do or not. I mean, so of all the sports, I love baseball the most. And I can listen to a baseball game on the radio.
We've talked about this on Nonsensical Nonsense. I love. I can't watch baseball on TV. Mr. B, how you doing, sir?
What's happening?
I'll watch an inning or two innings on TV. I've only been to one professional MLB game in my life. I've been to a lot of minor league games. I've been to a lot of minor. I grew up in Ohio. Our team here in Ohio is the Columbus Clippers. I grew up relatively close to Columbus. I've seen a lot of Yankee, and I hate the Yankees, but I've seen a lot of Yankees greats come through Columbus because the Columbus Clippers used to be owned by the Yankees. They were their minor league farm team. So I've seen guys like Derek Jeter, whatnot. I actually, when Derek Jeter was just a young lad, I got a baseball signed by Derek Jeter, and I don't have that baseball, unfortunately, anymore. But so I've been to a lot of minor league games. When I lived in Charleston, I got to go to a few Riverdog games. But myself personally, and like I said, we've brought this up on Nonsensical Nonsense. I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan, but I will find a Reds game on the radio on my phone. Now that we live in the smartphone era, I will put the game on my phone. I will sit on my porch, and I will drink some beer and listen to the baseball game, and I'm absolutely in heaven. That is in my opinion, that is the best way and the only way. If you're not in the ballpark, that is the only way to listen to a ball game.
Yes,
in my personal opinion.
No, I agree with you. It's I'm a Mets fan, but I still love.
I'm sorry.
Listening to no, it's
I'm a Reds fan. I feel you. I feel your pain. Trust me. You guys are doing your thing this year, though.
Yeah,
we're doing
things this year. Well, it shows you when you have a super $1 billion owner who's just like, you know what? Give me that, and that over there.
That's the thing, and unfortunately, I think all of us. I don't know, Mr. B. I don't know how you fit or how you stand or feel, but I think as far as the Yankees go, I hate the Yankees. I know Tony does.
I hate the Yankees too, man.
He's a Red Sox fan.
Yeah, so we're all in agreement. We all hate the Yankees, but again, you can't deny Steinbrenner has got money for days, and again, when you say like Ted just said, I want him, and and I say this as a Cincinnati Reds fan because they've come and picked our franchise apart and won World Series and had MVP players in Yankees history that were absolutely killing it with the Reds, and they've come and just cherry picked them away from us because Steinbrenner had money that nobody else had. So
the best thing that ever happened in Cincinnati is when Ken Griffey Jr. was traded to us.
I don't think anybody asked you, Brian. Somebody killed his mic. Who asked you?
That was Cincinnati's greatest achievement. Yay, we got Ken Griffey Jr.
That's why your camera don't work. Nobody asked you.
Ah,
I'm really beginning to not like you and your little baby beard, almost non-existent beard having ass.
oh my God.
Get on my level, son. So I'm gonna smoke you in
Redneck
fantasy football.
Gandalf ain't my style.
So I'm gonna smoke you in fantasy football.
Oh, so
Yeah.
this is a great time. This is a great way to segue. Fantasy football. Who's running the fantasy football league this year?
Me and Brian are going to try to run it. Glick's going to give us the platform. The
Yeah.
door's going to be open to myself, him, Glick. Ted, I think you said you wanted a piece of this.
Yeah.
If
Joe, you want to get a piece of it?
I'll let you know.
Okay.
well, Tony and Brian, if you don't mind, Tony, I don't mean to step on your toes or anything like that. Tony D and I'm gonna actually I will set up the fantasy football platform, the actual league. I told Tony last year before the season was over, I wanted him and Brian to on our nonsensical nonsense StreamYard page. I wanted those two. They can do their own thing wherever they want, but I really wanted them to come in and do Fantasy Meltdown was what I wanted to call the show, and I wanted to kind of put them under our umbrella so that I could post it onto our Spotify and all that jazz on the Anchor. But I'll set up the league, but I want Tony and Brian to run it. I have to learn to step back. Unfortunately, I can't step back from nonsensical nonsense. But if I can create another show, I can step back and let somebody else kind of take the reins. Tony and I were talking about that tonight. That's going to be it's going to be Tony's baby. It will be on our StreamYard page, but it's going to be Tony's baby, and I'll be there as best as I can as a co-host with my expertise analysis, if you will, because since I've known Tony and Brian.
For Brian and for Tony, we got to put some skin in the game.
So
it's got to be 25
bucks. That's what I
have no skin this season. This is going to be only the second league.
I have no skin at all.
Listen, I'm normally running 14 leagues a season. I'm only playing this one is a free one, and another one I've been in for the past 2 seasons. So it's going to be for numbers.
Okay, so we'll leave Brian and Tony out of it. Any side skin or any side bets that you want to get into? I'm down. I'm in. Ted, I'm in. 25, 30, whatever you want, I'm in.
I do want to run it.
We got to throw something in there to incentivize everyone to do the right thing.
I'm going to run it on NFL.
I'm very competitive.
I got an ESPN trophy already. I got
I have a couple of British pounds. Would that work?
I ain't listening to that dude. I can't. I do want to try to run an NFL.com. I'm going to broadcast tomorrow.
I have 5 British pounds.
I'll set it. Tony D. I'll set up the league. Actually, I think NFL is what I liked better. Yeah, I'll set up the league on NFL.com.
We're going to have Nancy K wanted to be a part of it as well. So Nancy, Wisconsin from Haps, she's going to be rolling with us. I'm going to be on tomorrow night. We could do the whole show tomorrow night. We can watch the preseason game. I'm going to do it while the preseason game is going.
Oh, okay.
So
I'll be with you, Tony.
I know a bunch of us are going to be in front of a screen. You might as well get your laptop and your headphones ready. So,
Tony, do you want to do it on your platform, or do you want to pull it up on our platform?
We can pull it up on your platform. I can pull it up on mine.
No. I said our platform.
Oh, well, yeah, we can pull it up on our platform.
Get it right.
You're right.
He's trying to paint me as a bad guy over here. Hey, yo.
You want to be the bad guy.
I'm going to hit him with a toothpick if he ain't careful. Keep playing.
But yeah, I don't know if you want to do a piece of it. I think we could open up to a few more people. No problem.
I say we put it out there as far as the league goes. Anybody that wants to,
give it
as Ted said, you want to get a little skin in on it. You want to put a little cheddar on it. Anybody who wants to get in on there,
because someone's going to win. Someone's going to win, and there should be some type of incentive.
Yeah,
that's my take. I mean, I could get voted down. It's okay. I'm okay with it.
I say we leave it up to anybody who's down to put some money in on it if you're down, and then
Yeah.
much like poker. I mean, much like poker, if you go in, and you're in it for the money. If you're not in it for the money, then if say Tony or Brian won, they're not going to win the money, but whoever comes in below them that put the money in, that will take the money.
I don't have no
You know.
Okay.
Yep.
And I was actually for this year's fantasy football league because I think I have a couple people that would want to get in. I know my nephew would probably want to get in. I don't know if he put any money down, but I was actually looking at maybe potentially buying going like the route of Miami U, the Hurricanes, if you will, and not necessarily a trophy or a belt, but maybe a championship chain that the
All right.
winner.
All right. All
The
right.
winner could wear that. I'll put the money up if I have to, and we'll send it out. I don't care whether you put money down or not in the league. If you win the league, you win the league. You can rock the chain. But that's just me being confident in my skills and my know-how.
Sounds good.
Tony and Brian, last year you guys came to me for advice. I just want to remind you of that. And this year's Glick's advice will not be there for you two gentlemen.
Oh damn! Oh damn!
No, I'm not gonna lie. I asked you. I never said I needed it.
You needed it. You needed me. You needed me. You need Glick.
JoJo, what's going on this weekend in the combat sports world?
What's going on, man? We got UFC. Well, what's going on? We have UFC this week. Yesterday was the Contender Series, and that shit was fire, bro. That shit was fire. Cause the first week one was garbage, but yesterday's episode we had like there was 5 fights, 4 finishes, and one ill ass fight. 2 dudes that lost last year came back and they fought again. This weekend, if I remember correctly, hold on a second. I got you right now. This weekend, we have what's homeboy's name, man? There you go. Jamal Hill versus Thiago Santos.
So Santos.
Yeah, big old Santos. That's the dude that fought John Jones. He's fighting Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill is ranked up there. I think they're both within the 15, but Santos kind of dropped. He's in the 10 though, in the top 10. Jamal Hill's climbing up there. Really good match. Luque versus Jeff Niels will be up there. The co-main. Then they got the 2 finalists from the Ultimate Fighter fighting on the main card. And there's a couple other good fights on there as well. But yeah, man. I don't know what's happening in boxing. I gotta recheck what's happening in boxing. I didn't check that, but last week was fire. The UFC was fire.
That was fire.
That was real good, man. I'm sad Derek Lewis lost. He got his ass beat. That was sad, man.
Yo, is he done? Is he done?
I don't know, man. I don't know. He's 37. He got bad luck at Texas. That's his home, but it's bad luck, man. That dude got caught bad, bro.
Got caught really bad, really quick.
Yeah. So he got upset, but he got beat up. Who is that? Brandon Moreno won. He won that title against Kai Kara France. Beat that man 3rd round. Other than that, you heard they canceled the Jake Paul fight.
The Jake Paul fight got canceled.
Jake Paul fight got canceled.
The freak show.
Yeah.
They said that fight got canceled, but then Tyson Fury's younger brother said that he would still fight Jake Paul at Madison Square for that event. So what's going on with that? I mean, I'm kind of dipped out of that world the last few years, but I just seen the headline that thanks, bud. That Tyson Fury's younger brother said he would meet Jake Paul and that everything was kosher and he'd get down in the ring with Jake Paul. He said he would fight Jake and Logan in the same night and knock both of them out at Madison Square Garden.
Well, what What they claimed was the problem that they said that Hasim Rahman wasn't gonna make the weight.
Yeah,
That's bullcrap.
they changed it a couple times for him, and then he still was
Yeah,
playing some games and everything.
and Rahman actually decided to go, and he's gonna go and weigh himself tomorrow. Actually, I think it's
Okay.
either tomorrow or Friday. He's supposed to go up and weigh himself. He's gonna post his weight, the 205, because that's what they wanted him to do. They wanted him to drop the 205. So he said he's gonna do that and prove that what Jake was saying was a lie.
So
What it was.
where's he sitting at right now as far as weight goes? Like, Rockman, where's he sitting at right now?
Probably like what, 210, 215 probably.
Maybe. Yeah, because I know Jake said that they offered to fight him at 215, but he couldn't get down to 215. So I think what's happening is Jake's finally getting called out by legitimate boxers.
Yes.
And he's starting to get scared.
Yeah.
Because everything's been a spectacle up to this point.
Yeah.
And now you had Tyson Fury's younger brother, and you had all the BS around in that. Now you got Rockman Jr., and now you created more BS behind that. And like you said, Rockman said, "I'll weigh myself, and I'll post it for you to see where I'm at. I'll get to where you need to be." So they're starting to lose that spectacle, and now Jake's starting to get a little bit of. I think he's starting to get a little bit afraid. He's and in my personal opinion, I think he's fought guys that were willing to take dives. Old boy that used to be in the UFC, he came out and he said that second fight, he took a dive.
Whoa. Woodley?
Yeah, Woodley came out after the second fight, and he said he came out and he said he took the dive for the money, and then you watch the footage and it don't even look like when Jake knocked him out, it don't even look like he made that legitimate of contact. I'm not a fighter, a professional fighter, so to say. I've been in some backyard brawls and some back alley fights and some parking lot fights, and I'm sorry, but I've seen some boys, and I know some boys that have taken shots from me, and I've taken some shots from boys, and that didn't look like a knockout punch to me. What Woodley took, and then the fact that he braced, like he was braced and ready for it, and then the way he fell down,
so straight down like.
Yeah, like I mean, when you get put to sleep, you don't fall down like that. So I think the money grab is starting to go away, and now you're getting legitimate fighters, and you're starting to make excuses.
Not only that, that second fight bombed, man. That was 60.
Oh, it was an absolute.
That was like, what, 60 something thousand sales?
Yeah, it was an absolute tank.
Garbage.
Well, so 60,000 buys, that was it?
It was like 60-something thousand buys. Yeah, 60,000 buys.
And that's the other thing that came up about this fight with Rockman and Jake Paul was that. Oh, excuse me.
The sales were garbage.
For Madison Square Garden, they only sold like $15,000 or $20,000 in ticket sales, which is even for any one of us in this podcast. And I can't speak for anybody's financial means or anything like that, but Madison Square Garden, $15,000, $20,000 in ticket sale. I'm sorry, but that's pocket change. That's pocket change to me. Right. That's pocket change. Right. At the end of the day, that's nothing.
That is pocket lint for Madison Square.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to think about this. Jake Paul put probably $6 million of his own money in there, and you ain't seeing no type of revenue because zero interest in the fight.
Yeah, there was no interest.
So they called that out. And you got to think, to hold a place in Madison Square where you're not really having any big promotions really tagging on you to help you put that money up.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird too, man.
They said that 15,000, 20,000 in ticket sales or whatever that they were looking at as of a few days back wasn't even enough to book that venue. It wasn't even remotely close enough to book that venue. So I feel like this is almost kind of like a ploy. The fight's still going to happen, but they gotta try to garner some kind of publicity. You know, oh, Jake's going to say Rockman can't meet weight. We did all this, that, and the other thing. Rockman's going to come out and say, oh, look, I'm going to come and weigh myself, and I'm going to let y'all see it. And then, and I apologize to Tyson Fury's brother. I can't think of his name right now. Tommy Fury. Now all of a sudden he's coming out of the woodwork, and he's like, "Oh, if Rockman ain't gonna fight him, I'm gonna fight him, and I'll fight his brother in the same night, and I'll knock both of them out." It kind of comes across as a publicity stunt at the end of the day to try to garner more views, clicks, likes, ticket sales. You know, at the end of the day, so they're kind of grasping for straws in a way, in a sense, at the end of the day. Trying to get that money back.
I feel bad because Amanda Serrano was on that card, and Serrano just had a hell of a fight against Katie Taylor. Yes. And look how much money she managed to garner off of that fight. And now
Serrano ain't no joke.
And now you was on a co-main, and it doesn't sell. Mm-hmm. That's a hit to the pockets, man.
Yeah,
like, bro, what?
Yeah.
Oh, that's ugly. That's ugly.
Yeah, we still got a few days to see what happens because that fight was supposed to be what?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah. Now you got the other YouTube dude, KSI, laughing his head off, man, because he's doing his YouTube fights, and they sold the arena over there in England. I think is it England they at? I think
with the O2.
Yeah, that's the O2.
Yeah, I think it was at the O2 not too long ago.
They charging little to nothing, but they're gonna make a lot of money because people are gonna pay to watch it.
Right.
You're not charging a lot, but there's a lot of viewers that are gonna go watch.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you book Madison Square Garden, you know you have to charge a lot for people to get in there. You're not getting in there for. There's certain venues when you do a fight like this. Madison Square Garden is obviously that's everybody's dream venue. If you're a fighter, whether you're a boxer, a UFC guy, a wrestler, anything like that, that's like a dream get. MGM in Vegas, that's a dream get. Yep. You're not booking O2 over in England. For them that's a dream get. But they did it right for KS1. They're like, all right, we're gonna get this venue. But we're gonna do the fans right, and we're gonna give access to anybody and everybody who wants to get in here. We're gonna make sure we can make it happen. And at the end of the day, we're gonna fill this stadium. Y'all gonna get your money. I'm gonna get my money, and we're gonna have a packed house. Where unfortunately for Jake Paul, he thinks he's something that he's not at this point, in my opinion. He thinks he's something that he's not because he hasn't gone up against he wants to be a boxer, but he hasn't gone up against a legitimate boxer to this point. Yeah. And now he thinks he can sell out Madison Square Garden. Like, come on, son. Go back to YouTube. Go back to YouTube.
Yeah, because you got to pay for the arena. You got to get the commission on board. You got to pay all these people.
Yeah, you got
welcome to New York, man. Over taxes, bro. Over the big tax. You gotta pay up, man.
Not only do you gotta pay for that arena, but you gotta pay for the promoters. You gotta pay for insurance. The insurance, the television. All these different networks and stuff like that are going to be there. There's so many, and this is just the four of us speaking out of turn and speaking from the couch, so to say. We're our armchair. In the NFL, they use the term armchair quarterback. I guess we could say we're armchair promoters or whatever. But we're looking at the realist. We're looking at that real aspects. Like I'm not gonna say I'm gonna fight Tony D and everybody's gonna come watch it, and we're gonna sell out Philly's cheesesteak factory, and everybody's going to be there. Don't nobody know who we are. Nobody care who we are.
Exactly. So
I don't know, man. I was just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what stuff.
But you're correct, man. It's just bonkers, man. It's bonkers.
Mm-hmm. So a question for Joe and for Glick and also Tony D. Why? I mean, I get it. I know money's the master motivator, but why, for situations like this, why aren't they looking at the 7 to 10,000 seat arenas? Like Mohegan Sun type, smaller venue that you can fill out. I mean, it might be a little, you can charge a little bit more, but it's a little bit more intimate
Well, here's the
than
thing.
Madison Square Garden, where it's 20,000 seats. And if the focus is on the pay per view buys,
Mhm.
don't you want that appearance of
Yes.
the packed house?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you're a YouTube sensation, you're supposed to pack the house. Apparently, your
Yeah.
YouTube sensation ain't on that.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but Ted, you said it at the very beginning. Excuse me. It's a money motivator.
Yes.
And if Jake Paul comes out and says I'm going to fight Hasim Rahman Jr. and no discredit to Rahman Jr., but his pops was a boxer, and his pops was a hell of a boxer, and I honestly don't think Rahman Jr. is at that status yet. I'll say yet because I think we really and I'm an OG boxing fan. Like I love boxing from back in the day.
Mhm.
I don't think Rahman Jr. is quite at the status where he thinks he is at this point. Where you have Jake Paul who thinks he's a superstar and he can go and say and do and sell out wherever he wants.
Yeah.
So like Ted said, at the end of the day, it's a money motivator. So you're going for the big money score.
Yep.
So you're not going to look at the Mohican Casino in Biloxi, Mississippi. I don't even think that's where it's at, but I know there's something in Biloxi that they do a lot.
Mohegan's Sun is not in Biloxi, no.
Yeah, no, there's something in Biloxi.
Isn't that like in Arizona?
Yeah,
Nah, it's Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Connecticut, okay.
Yeah, but there's there is a venue in Biloxi that
Yeah, we are going Native American land. That's
what
what
the
it is.
Beau Rivage.
It's on Native American
Okay.
land.
So instead of thinking small time, which is what they're thinking, but to us we're like, and Ted, this goes back to when we were talking very very early on. The live views as far as podcasting goes is great, but at the end of the day, what we want are those replay listeners, those listeners that come in and you want, and I think in this situation, you're going to get money from a venue regardless where you go.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, you're going to make more money off of those pay-per-view views. And if you went to a smaller venue and you could give that perception of a packed house,
Yeah.
you're going to get more views on pay-per-view. And what's pay-per-view going for nowadays? $70, $80, $60 a pop?
Yeah.
So
It's going for 60. Yep.
yeah, you sell 20 or you sell 8,000 tickets at I don't know, $50 a pop, but then you sell 3.4 million views on pay-per-view.
Boom.
At $80 or $70 a pop. Where's your money coming from? And not only that, but those promoters, your Buffalo Wild Wings, your Coors Lights, your
Monster.
Monster, stuff like that.
Crypto.com, Coinbase.
That's where the money is going to come from.
Yeah.
That is where your revenue is going to come from. And that's where Jake Paul said, I'm putting up $6 million for this fight. You go to a smaller venue and you kill it on pay-per-view and you kill it on sponsorships, you're going to quadruple that money.
Yeah.
For what? 4 rounds? 4 2-minute rounds, 3-minute rounds, whatever, 8 rounds, whatever, how many it is.
This is why I was sitting there wondering to myself, why didn't he have this fight in Ohio? Why not in Cleveland?
Yeah.
He should have thrown it in his hometown.
Yeah, he should have done it. Yeah, absolutely. His first actual match against a real boxer, do it in your hometown. Do it in Cleveland. Because for whatever reason, and I'm an Ohio guy. I live in Ohio. For whatever reason, they sorry, Ted. Sorry. They love these two goofy Paul brothers here in Ohio.
Yes.
You should have heard. Now, I'm a wrestling fan, and I watched SummerSlam, and it was in Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
It was.
You should have heard the pop that Logan Paul got in Nashville when he came and did his entrance in his match. And it was a fantastic match. As a wrestling fan, That kid looks like he's been wrestling for years. It
I
was an
heard that. I
amazing
did hear
match.
that.
He's
It
good.
was he was so good. But the pop he got in Nashville, freaking Tennessee, was insane. Could you imagine if SummerSlam was in Ohio or in Cleveland or Cincinnati or in Columbus? How big of a pop he would have gotten here in Ohio? He would
Oh,
have
yeah,
blown
I
the
mean,
they would have blown the daggum roof off the stadium.
also
Yep.
too,
Yeah.
he had a huge pop at WrestleMania.
Yeah, he had a ridiculous pop at WrestleMania.
That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to
Mhm.
aim for stuff like that, man. Jake didn't, man. I don't know. I don't know
And
if
I
that
agree.
I don't know if that was a miss on him or was it a miss on Showtime or what. But yo, it was just a miss. That's a
And
miss.
I absolutely agree with what Brian said. If they would have done that in Cleveland, they would have had their choice.
Yes.
Cleveland Brown Stadium, First Energy
Yep.
Stadium, whatever the Guardians are calling their stadium these days, or they could have done it at the arena where the Cavaliers played. They would have packed any one of those, and all three of those, the arena and the two stadiums are
Mhm.
only within like 6 blocks of each other. They're all right there in downtown Cleveland. They would have absolutely filled any one of those spots. They would have filled it. You could have gone to First Energy Stadium where the Browns play, and you would have had people hanging off the daggum Raptors
Yeah.
to watch all the way up at the top with the Lake Erie wind blowing them sons of bitches, making them look like kites. They would have been hanging off that just to support their boy from Cleveland.
Or what about the Ohio State Stadium?
Oh yeah, they could have done it at the Horseshoe in downtown Columbus.
That's
They
the
could have done it at the
outdoor
Horseshoe.
stadium, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the Guardians play in an outdoor stadium, but
Mhm.
it's summertime. You could have done it in the outdoor
You
stadium.
could have pulled it off.
Yeah, they could have pulled it off at the
So-
Horseshoe. They would have packed the Horseshoe. Luke Combs just did a show, and I don't know if you guys know who Luke Combs is. He's a country singer. He's an up and comer. He's a new country singer.
No, he's been out for a
Yeah.
minute. He's been out.
Yeah, he's been out for a
I know
minute.
Luke
He last week he did a show at the Horseshoe where the Buckeyes play.
Wow.
Packed it out. I mean, absolutely filled the stadium. It was ridiculous. I had friends that went to that concert, and it was ridiculous. I couldn't believe that he packed it. And that
So,
was
I just
And
want to
that
give an example, and Joe, this will resonate with you.
Sure.
Ric Flair's last match
Mm.
was
Let's go.
the stadium. It was almost 10,000, sold out.
Mhm.
So the
Yeah.
appearance on Fight TV is, oh my goodness, it's that magic number. It's that 7 to 10,000 number
Yeah.
where you give that appearance. Now I don't know how many buys they had. I don't know if it was 100,000 or 50,000, but it just looks so much better. And I think Logan Paul, like you said, miscalculated, whatever the case was. But if they would have moved forward with that, and if the garden was empty, that would have been the talk of the town.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it would have just proved he's been talking out of his ass about his drawing ability, and people wanted to see him. Yeah.
Yes.
Because here's the thing.
No.
Here's the thing. He lived. This is what it is, and he got to realize this shit too. And this is how you know it's truthful. He had a big YouTube following.
Yeah.
Those kids grow up.
Yes.
Those kids grow up. End of story. That's it.
Facts.
Those kids
Facts.
eventually grow up.
So you got a 20-year fan base aiming for the youth in the first place.
Exactly. Those kids grow up. Not everybody's gonna be interested in watching you box. And if you're gonna box, you gotta box what who the generation knows. If the generation don't know who you boxing,
Yeah,
you don't
see
care.
it.
You know what I mean? That's
They're
the
gonna
whole
call
other
them a
thing. in
no-name,
itself.
and then wonder how you lost to a no-name, and it's gonna kill your career. Exactly.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's another thing in itself. So it's kind of like, it's just odd, man. It's really odd. If he would have went in there, he would have fought Rahman. That whole place would have been, you know what I mean, looking horrible. Serrano would have been fighting there. She would have been fighting who she was fighting. After coming off a packed house, the last time out she was fighting, it would have looked so weird. It would have looked bad, man. It'll look bad, but that's the thing. His fan base is not quite the fan base. And I compared this to Coyle Ray. I know I'm going a little bit off topic with Coyle Ray and how Coyle Ray's music gets a lot of following, but her concerts don't get as much as the people there as much as of her music. People buy a bunch of her music, but don't show up as much to her concerts. And that's what you kind of get with Jake Paul. Jake Paul, everybody's going to be following him and seeing him on social media. But comes to these events, and these people ain't showing up like that. Them kids ain't going to show up. Them kids is growing up. They don't know about jobs yet. Some of them kids don't know about a job yet.
They don't have money like that to show up to these events.
So that's what it is. And this is what you're seeing. This is a product of what you're seeing. Those kids are growing up. Some of those fan bases growing up, and they're looking and they're like, yo, what the hell? This guy's silly, man. Like, I like the fighting, but I don't know who he's fighting. Get out of here.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, like I was saying, he hasn't had a legitimate fight. So a lot of legitimate fans, boxing fans or fight fans, they're not at that point yet where they're ready to go buy a ticket to go watch Jake Paul fight because he hasn't legitimatized or hold on, words are hard. he hasn't made himself legit yet at this point.
Yeah.
So fight fans, like yourself, like I said, I'm a little bit old school. I grew up in the '90s. I grew up watching Tyson and Lennox Lewis and guys like this, and I'm sure Ted and Tony D. If you guys were fight fans back in the day, we grew up watching.
Holyfield, Sugar Ray Leonard. Lennox Lewis,
and I mean James, James
Hagler.
James Buster Douglas is a good friend of my family. He's got a ranch actually here where my family is from.
We need to see. That's an interview we need
I would love to get that, but he's got the Quick Jab Ranch, which is in the town where my family grew up, where my kids go to school at, and everything like that, and. He was actually really good friends with my grandfather. But I grew up watching these guys, and I'm sorry, but some goofy kid from YouTube, I'm not going to go drop $100 on a ticket just to get a nosebleed seat, just to watch him fight some silly ass goofy nobody from the UFC or some has been washed up fighter from the UFC. No disrespect to Woodley because he was a champion in the UFC, but
he was washed.
Yeah, but his time came and went. Now he's out for the money grab. So, you got to legitimize yourself. And then once you legitimize yourself, and if you're all you're cracked up to be, then worry about MGM, worry about MSG, worry about, all these big arenas. And if you do want to do these big arenas, make it make sense to where you're YouTube fans, especially because you got famous off of YouTube being an idiot on YouTube and pulling stupid pranks and staged videos and everything else. Make it to where your fans that have been watching you for years, make it affordable to where they can come and fill up MSG or MGM. But until that point, calm down. Keep it on the smaller stage because, like you said, Serrano. Man, she would have gladly taken a little Indian casino in Connecticut or down in Biloxi or in New or in some random ass because at the end of the day she's still gonna get her payday because it's gonna come from the views on pay-per-view. You don't gotta worry about selling out all that crazy stuff. Stop it. Make yourself a legitimate fighter before you worry. I mean that'd be like and I'm just going to use our podcast for instance. That'd be like, we've done our podcast for a little over a year now, and then all of a sudden I send an email to Spotify and say, you gave that Joe Rogan $100 million. You should probably give a real podcast $80 million, and we'll come and do what we do on Spotify. You know what I mean? And we're not gonna be fake. We're gonna be who we are
exclusively.
Exclusively on Spotify. Nonsensical nonsense. By the way, Spotify, if you're listening, call us. Yes, call us.
Yes, sir. What kills me the most about that whole situation, though, is that they came out and said if he was gonna beat Rockman, they was gonna give him a ranking spot in the WBC.
right? Which is
I
would have beat
I
his
said,
ass.
nah. I said, hell no.
I'd have fought
Hell
the hell out of him.
no.
which
Nah.
at the end of the day, I mean, I'm gonna be the odd guy out. At the end of the day, I think that's what Jake wants. I think he wants to become a
He wants
legitimate
to be
boxer,
ranked.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think
and he
so.
wants to
That
be ranked.
legitimizes him.
Yeah.
I think he does. Yeah.
So if he does knock out Rockman, it doesn't have to be a top ranking, but give him a ranking. Let him get into the WBC.
Yep.
Let
Yep.
him fight because he's going to go up against real boxers, and you're going to find out real quick and in a hurry. Is Jake
Yeah.
Paul real? Is he the real deal, or is he just some YouTube hack
He's
that's
a
using
YouTube
his celebrity?
He's a tough guy
Yeah,
that wants to go out there and fight people.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the
He's
thing.
a
You're
little
going.
reckless knucklehead that's going to take any risk. We got
Yeah.
that. But you can't go up against no real fighter and think you're going to win. You fucking creep, son.
But that's what I'm saying. You give him the rank and let him get in there, and you legitimize him. Yeah, you give him the rank, and then once he's ranked in the WBC, he has to fight legitimate boxers. He has to fight tough guys if he wants to be a champion. So you're going to make or break him. And at the end of the day, either he's gonna surprise a lot of people, and he's gonna shock a lot of people, and he's gonna climb the ranks, or he's gonna get the first legitimate fight and get his bell rung and go, I'm going back to YouTube. I can make a lot more money on YouTube and not get punched in the face.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, man.
So absolutely, if he was to beat Rockman, give him a ranking. But then he's ranked, and then you have to fight in the WBC or whatever boxing league that he's in. You have to fight here. Every fight you have from this moment on is the real deal. It matters. It's not about money. It's not about views.
Before we close out of here,
excuse me.
Before we close out of here, I want to ask a question to Tony D, and we'll go round robin. How annoying are your neighbors?
Mine are actually, I'm actually in heaven with my neighbors. I don't have any problems.
Okay.
I'll be honest.
So
they've been helping me out for the past couple months with what I got going on as well. So I can't complain.
We did a post. I got a little bit of feedback. Let me.
Yeah, I'll mute my mic.
Okay. So we did a. Let's see.
Jojo, check your mic. Might be yours.
Let me see.
I'm gonna mute. So maybe it's mine. Everyone else is on mute.
Look like it's you, man. How Jojo gonna mute it and turn it back on? Jojo, mute your mic.
So.
Oh, there we go. You're good now,
Okay.
Ted.
All right. So I turned down the volume a little bit. We did a post this past week with Lombardo Homes.
Is your echo cancellation off?
It's me?
Yeah.
Hold on.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Now we go. All right.
Is
So we
your
did a post this past
echo
week.
cancellation off?
Yeah, we did a post this past week with Lombardo Homes
Mhm.
on latenightparents.com about how annoying is your neighbor.
Right.
And we'll quickly just go through that. Number one, of this survey, it was about 1,200 people. Of the survey, 57% were single family homes, 28% were apartments, 5% were townhouses, and 10% were mobile homes, multifamily homes, and of course, condos and the wonderful world of other. So, top 5 runs as, and you can say yes or you can say no. So we can all chime in. Number 5, top neighbor annoyance is unsupervised children.
Yes.
Yes.
Running through the yard.
Number 4, parking issues.
Apartments.
Yes.
Apartments.
Well,
Yeah,
when I live,
apartments.
when I,
I'm kind of on the fence.
Yeah, when I lived the
yeah,
apartment
I think
life,
it's-
yeah, parking.
I mean, if you have assigned parking, I live in an apartment, so if you have assigned parking, absolutely. If you
They break
don't,
those rules too. I've been in an apartment.
yeah, if you don't have assigned parking, it does get annoying when I can't park in one of the two spots by my stairs.
Number 3, intrusive or nosy neighbors.
Oh damn,
Nosy.
yeah.
I'm gonna plead the
Nosy.
fifth.
Yeah.
On this one. I won't tell you what to do, but I'm gonna catch a case.
I've never really dealt with that, but
I've
there's
had
a reason
nosy
why I haven't
neighbors.
dealt with that.
Number 2, not cleaning up after pets.
Facts.
Oh yeah, we got a lady in our
Oh,
in our
God.
neighborhood who does that. She lives down the block. She walks up this block, a dog craps, and then she tries to hide and disappear.
Hmm.
Like
She'll
the
bring
people
no
don't got
bag and she don't want
windows.
to smell like it when she walks into the
cameras.
elevator.
But we call
Number
her
1
though. We call her.
reason is noise.
Of course.
And that falls under noise annoyances such as loud music, loud adults talking or shouting,
Podcasting.
Sex.
podcasting,
Sex.
loud pets,
Sex and
loud
duplex.
children, loud exterior work
fighting.
like
Loud
you know,
sex.
someone doing their lawn, cutting their grass at 6:00, 6:30 in the morning,
Leave
and
them
you're
alone.
trying to, you know, you
Cut the
go
grass.
to work at 9, and if you live locally where you work, you know, you want to get that extra time in there, but you're always going to have that neighbor out there cutting the grass. Loud walking, heavy
Loud
footsteps,
vehicles, motorcycles, and
loud
cars and
TVs, loud interior work, loud instruments, and number 10 is loud sex.
Yeah, I knew sex was in there. Y'all want to bang
I
your head.
Guilty.
Put the bed on the side in the middle of the house. Don't put the bed over
The apartment life, I was guilty.
I'm gonna be that apartment guy. I ain't mad at you if you're having loud sex. Actually, if I catch your ass in the morning, I'm gonna high five the shit out of you. I'm like, hell yeah, good job, bro, good game. That was awesome. Hell yeah, I ain't even mad at you. I promise you, I will never be mad at. I will never ever, out of all the things my neighbors can do to drive me crazy, I ain't never gonna be mad at my neighbors for having loud sex. Like I said, I'm gonna catch you either in the morning or in the afternoon. I'm gonna high five you. I'm gonna say good game,
I
bro.
was the greatest neighbor because what I did was I didn't get a bed frame. I put the mattress and the box spring on the floor so it gave you less problems. You're welcome.
Nah, man, I'm legit high fiving all
I had a
day.
homie who did that.
Good
I had
game,
a
bro.
homie who did that.
Yeah,
Good game, man.
You ain't none of your business
Got
how I
no
get
friends.
down. I don't want you taking no shit, bastard.
Yeah, when I lived the apartment life, the neighbor's daughter was like saying, "Wow, you had a great night last night."
Yeah, exactly. That's me. I'm like, damn, man, you really laid it down. You let her know who the boss
I did
was.
wrong though. In top of all that, so I made sure the noise was down. Guess what my stupid ass did? I left the windows open.
Yeah. I ain't mad at you for having loud sex. Get it. Hey, put it down, man. Go ahead and get it, son.
Word,
Would you
handle
ever
yours, yo.
confront an annoying neighbor?
Yeah.
I have. Like I said, I live in an apartment now. There's 4 apartments in my building. I made it very clear, real quick and in a hurry, when I moved in here. This is my building. My neighbors, we all kind of respect each other. My very next door, right beside me, I've had 4 neighbors since I've been in here. I went outside one day and my last former neighbor I had, she had an abusive ex-boyfriend, that I went out there and told him he was out there at 2:00 in the morning trying to beat her door in. And I said, hey, you all take this nonsense somewhere else. I'm tossing you over this rail. And her and I, her and I weren't like close friends, but she knew that if she needed anything, she would come to me. To the point where her pops showed up at my door one day and said, hey, thanks for looking out for my daughter. I'm like, this is my building, man. I got to look out for everybody that's in my building. So, I don't really find neighbors too annoying. There's not a whole lot that you're going to do because I know I get a little loud. I get a little rambunctious when we do the podcast and stuff like that. I know my kids are loud. For me personally speaking, there's not a whole lot that you're going to do that's going to annoy me. So, I mean, but no, I kind of run this building. They come to me for maintenance issues.
Some of the biggest dudes in the building. That's why.
Well, I'm probably the biggest dude in the complex.
When I was in my building in Montgomery, when I had my apartment, a lot of people saw me and they were chilling because I was military.
Mhm.
Out of a lot of folks, I was one of the military guys out there, so they would see me and everybody was kind of chill with it.
There's a saying.
but I was also working, and they saw I was working 2 jobs. So a lot of people disrespected that fact. You know what I'm saying?
There's a saying, I might butcher it, but walk into the room like you're the king, or walk into the room like you don't give a fuck who the king is. And that's how I roll around. I mean, that's just me in general.
I just need to know who's in charge and should I challenge him or not.
I'm in charge.
You can be challenged.
You better stop challenging me. That's all
Got
I
it.
say. You're gonna learn.
You're gonna learn today. You're gonna learn today.
No fighting.
No.
Yeah.
You woke up
last
to bed,
thing-
you wanted violence.
Last thing I'm gonna mention is, and it happened about 2 weeks ago. Suicide prevention lifeline shifts to 988. For those of you that are, just to be in the know, the new National Suicide Prevention Lifeline number, which is similar to how people call 911 for emergencies, rolled out. The existing lifeline still uses the 10-digit number 1-800-273-8255, but let you know that 988, whether you text or dial, you'll be connected with a trained mental health professional at a local or regional crisis center. Mental health is real.
Yes,
We
absolutely.
see this stuff every day. We hear about it. We watch cable news, and we see and I hate to associate it with it, but we see these mass shootings, and the first thing that out of anyone's mind, whether they're left, center, or right, is mental health. So we got to make sure that here in the states that we are prepared, and also and abroad. So that's the key. 988 that was rolled out but within the last 2 weeks, and
I didn't know that.
for those that are in need.
And to add on, if you don't mind, Ted,
Yeah.
Men, there's been a stigma for many years on us.
Yes.
About mental health issues. We're not allowed
Yes.
to have them. It shows a sign of weakness. As a multiple time suicide survivor, there's absolutely nothing wrong with
Nope.
with suffering
Correct.
depression or anxiety or PTSD. If you're going through something, there's a lot more people than you may know that are out there for you. And I will speak for Nonsensical Nonsense solely only on this. And if anybody agrees with me, it's not hard to find us. You can Google Nonsensical Nonsense, and I promise you, you can reach out to any one of us, the three of us, Jeffrey, myself, or Tony D. We've all gone through it. We've all struggled it. As I said, I am a multiple time suicide survivor. For whatever reason, I'm still here. If you ever need somebody to talk to, feel free to reach out to us. I don't care what day it is, what time it is. Message us, contact us any way you need to. Or like Ted said, I didn't know that there was a new nationwide number, 988. Do not hesitate to call, because there is somebody out there that will understand and or at least listen to you. Because at the end of the day, you think you're doing what's best, but you're going to leave a lot more people behind that it's going to affect and hurt if you take that last resort and take that final
step. A lot of the broadcasts we do, I try
That's
to talk real to a lot of people. In the event that you can't catch us, listen to some of the broadcasts. A lot of information we kick out is on the real, not so much of the good. And a lot of what we say is to figure the right side of your mind instead of the wrong side of your mind. No matter what, you can overcome any and every struggle. And a lot of people have wanted to give up and made it. Listen to them more than you want to listen to somebody who's trained to understand that. Know that you can talk to any and everybody, but you also got to make certain moves within yourself. A lot of people have overcome it and will never tell you. A lot of the advice given isn't cliched. We're going to give you some specific facts. And a lot of times when I talk to people what they're going through, I ask them what their options are first. That'll inspire you. I don't want to give you advice. I don't want to give you a lecture. I want to know where your mind's at, and I want to know what's going to help you get over it more than I just want to talk to you, just to talk to you, because that's what we're supposed to do. That's what people are tired of.
I want to be your ear. I want to be that shoulder.
Everybody has gone through something. Not all of us have made it. Be one of the ones that did make it straight up. Yeah, And as a veteran, I know we got to deal with it. I didn't think mental health was as real as it was 2 years ago. I thought it was just a cliched phrase and people needed to just toughen up. But over the past 2 years, we have to acknowledge and admit, as much as they've been beating it in our heads over the past 2 years, and we tired of hearing it, it's happening. Some people have jobs they couldn't go back to. Some people have lost families. Some people have lost family members.
Divorce.
Yeah,
Divorce
divorce.
and breakups was sky high.
All my brothers out there on child support and alimony, I already know. You already know. We don't know what to tell you. You need more money than advice. Best thing I can tell you is live as limited as possible and work as hard as possible. It's going to take you 2 years to get back on your feet. I've been there before. I'm about to be in it again. I ain't happy about it. I got to be careful of what I do. I got to be careful of how I do what I do. I also got to be careful of where I'm going when I do what I do. That's why you see me up here all the damn time. They think I'm just up to BSing. This is me playing it safe instead of me running the streets like I used to. Because it's meant for me to be in 4 different states a weekend. So the smartest thing for me to do is sit up here, talk junk with these two jokers that have been keeping me out of trouble for the past year. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, the depths of my soul, and the interest of my vast deference. This little joker right here, where he at? Right there. Now, I'm trying to get him on the show with this guy.
Yeah.
I can't get the one in the red over there. Yeah, the one in the red.
You're right.
Well, his work schedule changed. He just came up with something.
Yeah.
He just told you what he just went through. All that good stuff. You're looking at a little bit of inspiration right here. You're looking at a little bit of motivation right here.
Yeah, we've all gone through
a lot of survival through struggles.
Yeah, if I could tell you guys how many, and I could tell you, but whether you believe me or not, in the last several years, how many late night text messages, Snapchats, phone calls I've been with both men and women that I don't know from Adam. I just know them they know me from my streams, and they know that I've always been one that has said, if you need somebody to talk to, reach out. That I mean, there's been times where I've been up when I had to be at work at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was literally up until 5:45 in the morning talking to somebody because they needed that person. And they don't know me. They don't owe me nothing. They don't know me from anybody. But I was an ear. I was a shoulder for them, and I would gladly do it because I don't want anybody to be where I have been. And unfortunately for me, I've been there multiple times. But for whatever reason, I'm still here doing what I do.
Yes.
So I don't ever want anybody to be there. So I don't care what time of day or night it is. If you send me a message and say, hey, I need somebody to talk to, I will take it off the podcast page and we will take it to my personal page, wherever you need to be, so you have somebody to talk to. And if you don't want to talk to me, there's other people out there that will listen, or like Ted said, hit that 988 number. They're trained professionals. I'm not a trained professional. I just lived it. I don't have a spreadsheet. I don't have a script. I just lived it. I've been there. Tony's been there in his experiences. Ted has had different experiences. JoJo's had different experiences. Brian's had different experiences. But at the end of the day, we've all lived it.
Yes, sir.
And there are people that we don't have to know you. We don't have to know anything about you. You just have to know that there are people out there that will listen and will give you that ear or that shoulder that you need to get you through one more day.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Hey,
well said, sir.
Well said.
And that's coming from a guy that you usually hear making dick and fart jokes. So
we try to have fun. We try to bring up a topic or two. Some sports related, some not so much sports related. And then we kind of wrap it all in because whether you have your own kids or not, the one thing I've learned over this pandemic is you get to meet people. And yes, you might only know them online, but the minute you pick up that phone and you speak with them, it actually becomes real.
Yes.
So it's to a point where we all, in one aspect or another, become family.
Yes.
We'll go round robin. Best ways to get in contact with you guys, promote your podcast, promote whether you write somewhere or you do any type of commentary. We'll start round robin. We'll start with Brian first.
You can find me on Snapchat at Thailander_F150. You can find me on Airtime at TX_Cataskull. And you can find me under Twitch at TX_Cataskull.
All right. Mr. B, JoJo.
Yo. Well, you can catch me, man, on Twitter, Mr. B at Mr. B 1986, man. I have a Twitch, but I gotta get stuff on there. I'm on OK Live, man. Well, if it's Twitter, DM me, ask me a question if you want to, whether it's fight related or life related. I'm there to answer. I post funny things. I post some serious things, fight announcements, and all that stuff. Catch me on OK Live, where we watch fights and I do hilarious commentary, some informative, some funny. It is what it is, man. But yeah, man, I'm there. That's it.
Got it. Our special guest tonight. This is his first time. This won't be the last. Glick, the floor is yours. Where do we find you?
I hope this is not my last time because I've actually been looking forward to this, and I've told Tony this several times. I've been looking forward to getting on one of your broadcasts with you, but it's real easy. It's not hard. I've said it 153 episodes. Nonsensical nonsense. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You can also join us live, YouTube and Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Spotify. And we do have an email at nonsensicalnonsenspodcast@gmail.com. Like I said, you guys, I don't care who you are. I don't care what your story is. I don't care what your situation is. If you need somebody, reach out, hit us up. If you can't remember it, just remember nonsensical nonsense and put it in your Google bar. Ask Siri. Siri will get you to one of us, probably me more than anything, but it'll get you to one of us.
Don't you have an OnlyFans called Redneck Gandalf?
That was only between you and I. This is why I don't like you, Brian.
Oh my god!
That was a special VIP OnlyFans for you.
Oh my god!
Well, I guess there it is. At Redneck Gandalf on OnlyFans, you can for $1.50 for a 6-month subscription, you can hang out. I'll be eating medium rare steak and corn on the cob and baked potatoes.
Oh man!
Hold the sour cream.
Hold the sour cream. Sour cream got the extra, if you know what I mean.
Oh man!
Oh man! I just gave you an inch, man. Just an inch.
You know, if you give me an inch, I'm taking a foot.
Yo! Tony
Welcome
D,
yes,
brother
sir.
from another.
Yes, sir.
What you got?
First things first, appreciate this. This was awesome. Y'all already know, find me on latenightparents.com. Ways to follow the show, latenightparents.com. Appreciate my man Ted Hicks for looking out for a brother. You can also find me on the Sunday Night Smoke podcast with Ace World, all one word, night spelled NITE. You can find me on the Nonsensical Nonsense with this joke over here. Red shirt, long beard, with the OnlyFans page for the fellas.
Well, it was only for Brian, but now it's opened up for everybody.
Let me throw this out there too. Nonsensical Nonsense. It's spelled with S's, no Z's. Damn the trolls, I said it.
Yeah.
He'll wear the hat too.
Airtime. Yeah, you can find me on airtime.com, Tony D. You can find me on Twitch, TonyTone72, TonyTon72. You can find me on Twitter, TonyTon163. You can find me on Instagram, TonyTon72. You can find me on TikTok now. Almost 2 months. TonyTon19723. I got some shows online, trying to get the fellas together like what we got right here for 2 of them specifically, and then I'll probably be at peace once I get them off my chest and they go properly. Our calendars are awkward. Everybody's got to work. You already know that illness rating around the globe is still kicking in. We got 2 more coming in the United States. I want to get those broadcasts out. It's looking like this weekend may be a good opportunity. Nonsensical Nonsense is on Mondays 6 to 8, Wednesdays 6 to 9, Saturdays 8 to 11. Late Night Parents pops up when the man's ready. Sunday Night Smoke Podcast nights 7 p.m. Me, I'm random. You can find me on StreamYard doing it on Twitter. You can find me on Restream going to YouTube or Twitch. You can find me on vocal.com, VOKL.com, on Facebook to YouTube. I'm all over the damn place.
It would almost be a shorter list if you just told people where they
be a real
couldn't
shit
find
when you
you.
do this mess. You know what I'm saying? It's
How's
hard
your-
work being me, and then you got to have a job and still maintain a home.
Get
at
the
same
strap.
time. You know what I'm saying?
Right, man.
Get the strap.
Appreciate you, Ted, Brian. Good seeing you. You already know.
Get it.
Don't holler at your boy, the super syllable sportscaster himself. No, I wasn't letting it go. I'm gonna say it every damn episode.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh hell yeah! When you're as good as me,
Get
you
it.
don't have to be all those places. You can be in one spot, Tony D. I'm tired of telling you.
It's gonna be a
Wow.
I don't want none of this. We the belt kings around here.
Crazy.
Champs for days.
We'll be back next week,
Yes.
either Wednesday or Thursday-ish, usually after the Nonsensical Nonsense podcast is done. Now, you know, we're on after 10 o'clock at night, Eastern time. It wouldn't be Late Night Parents otherwise. All right, guys, thank you.
I forgot one. My bad.
Jesus Christ.
I did Twitter Spaces with Michael Bathurst. Those are random.
Twitter Spaces.
Yes, Twitter Spaces with Michael Bathurst. We're going to try and work on doing TikTok broadcasts, so y'all get ready for all that. Did you see the plane and the tug at the LaGuardia Airport? I was just reading that story. LateNightParents.com. Follow the show, y'all.
Oh, we're out.